Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 5, Arrow Season 7, and of course Supergirl Season 4, because it's some stuff to do with the Elseworlds crossover. So yeah, the Elseworlds crossover starts in 2 weeks and 1 day from now, so we should get our first proper trailer tomorrow with Supergirl. If we don't, then wow, they are really leaving the major promotional material for this crossover until very late. Like if it doesn't come out tomorrow, then I'm going to be very surprised, because we got the Supergirl teaser and then the Batwoman teaser last week. So you would think this week, this week would have the proper trailer. You would think it would. If it doesn't, then I'm shocked. But in this video, we're going to be going over a lot of promo images that were released, which show stuff from all 3 episodes, which I wasn't expecting. I thought they might just release some from the first episode, which is Flash, but they released photos from every single episode, which, yeah, pretty surprising. So yeah, we're going to go over that as well as some other stuff. But as this video goes live, I actually am a part of a live stream, so if you want to go click the link in the description down below. It is hosted by DJ Eric. I'm joined by Boba Talks and the DC TV show, so click that link in the description down below if you want to come join and have us, join us and have a chat. And yeah, so come join us after you finish watching this video. But before we jump into the promo images, we will quickly go over the synopsis for the crossover, which was released pretty recently, which sort of gives us some better context as to what's going on. But of course, before that, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below, what is the one thing you were looking forward to the most in this crossover? Is it having Batwoman there? Is it just seeing, Flash and Green Arrow's swap identities, I guess? Let me know what you're looking forward to the most in the crossover in the comment section down below. And of course, if you want to show your support and you're just going to enjoy the video, be sure to drop a like on the video to show support. The 3-night crossover event begins with Arkham Asylum Doc John Deegan rewriting reality, which results in Oliver and Barry swapping lives. In this new reality, Oliver Queen looks like Grant Gustin and Barry Allen looks like Stephen Amell. And the 2 heroes are the only ones who know they're in the wrong lives and have each other's abilities. So yeah, that synopsis really does sum up what you really need to know. Oliver and Barry, they've swapped around and things are going to be a bit weird from their perspectives. And they're really going to be the only ones that actually know. But there is some stuff in the promo images that actually reveal that other people do know as well. So as I said, we're going to go over these images and we're going to go over them in the order of the episode. So The Flash is the first episode of the crossover, then it's Arrow, and lastly Supergirl. So let's start with the Flash images. So funnily enough, even though the first episode is The Flash, the first images we're going to be looking at is actually of Superman or Clark Kent, as well as Kara, as well as Lois Lane and some other people on the Kent farm. So it looks like essentially when Oliver and Barry realize, oh crap, we've swapped lives, they must go to Supergirl's Earth just to see if everything's changed over there maybe, or there's just some contact between Kara, because for those that didn't know, when stuff changes on your Earth, it doesn't affect other Earths. So like when Flashpoint happened on Earth 1, it didn't affect any of the other Earths. It only affected Earth 1, and that's why like Harry and Jesse weren't affected by it and remembered the past timeline. So Kara knows that Barry or Grant Gustin is meant to be the Flash, and she knows that, Oliver Queen or Stephen Amell is meant to be Green Arrow, but, Barry and Oliver have swapped identities, so she's able to pick out, that they're acting different, and she believes them, and she's basically going to be the only one that believes that for the most part, because it's important to remember that Superman hasn't met these 2 characters yet. But having the addition of Lois Lane to the crossover is going to be pretty cool. I think she's only in the Flash and Supergirl episodes. I don't think she's in the Arrow episode, but I'm pretty sure Superman's in all 3 episodes. But we do see Lois Lane and Kara or Supergirl hugging here. And then, of course, we do have the group shot here, and it is important to note that Cisco is here. Having Cisco here is actually confusing because he was in the Batwoman teaser as well. He's next to the Barry Allen Green Arrow, if that's what we're going to call him. There is another image of Cisco later on in this video in the promo images, which once again is a bit confusing. Is this like a different Cisco? Who knows? So this is going to be interesting to see whether this is our Cisco. You would have to think it is. You have to think this is just the Cisco that works with, I guess, the Stephen Amell looking Flash, because it is important to remember this reality is the same. It's just that Oliver and Barry have swapped around. So, like, the Grant Gustin Green Arrow would still work with Diggle and all of Team Arrow, and the Oliver Queen Flash would still work with like Cisco, Caitlin, Iris, Ralph Dibny, Sherlock would probably be there as well. So nothing's changed apart from them swapping identities. So this is probably just our normal Cisco, which once again maybe forms a confusing thing later on the episode, but we'll jump in the promo images, but we'll jump into that in a second. And this is a pretty interesting shot. We do see, you know, I guess Grant Gustin playing Oliver Queen looking at Iris. Now Iris have like no idea. There's literally going to be this is probably going to be maybe an awkward scene, but just, I'm not necessarily sure how this scene's going to be portrayed. Maybe the Stephen Amell Oliver Queen might be like, hold on, why are you looking at my girl like that, mate? Like, what the hell's going on here? So this could be a pretty funny scene, but also maybe an emotional scene as well, but have to wait and see. Now here is an interesting scene. I think that is Sherlock on the right there. Like you can hardly see him, but I'm 99% sure that's Sherlock. That looks like him at least. But obviously this is in Star Labs. We do have Caitlin there as well. And it looks like they might have done like maybe a DNA test because Oliver and Barry are probably freaking out going like, why are we swapped? What the hell's going on here? So they might be doing a DNA test or something just to test what's going on. Or they might even be testing abilities to see if like, you know, the Grant Gustin Green Arrow would have any sort of speed force running through them or something like that. But from what I know, the character of Iris and the characters of Nora and Ralph are not in this crossover a lot. Caitlin and Cisco do have extended parts in the crossover. That's just from what I've heard. I could be wrong there. I know obviously we can tell that Cisco's going to have a bit more of an extended role in this crossover, but I'm pretty sure Caitlin has that as well. But we'll have to wait and see. So some of these characters will only make cameos in like the opening and closing episodes, while some will show up throughout the crossover. And obviously this shot of Iris and the Stephen Amell Barry Allen was from the teaser that we got. Or it's not the same shot, but obviously it's in that same scene from the first teaser trailer. And for those that didn't know, Oliver waking up in bed and waking up to Iris will be the opening scene of the crossover. Stephen Amell did confirm that the opening scene of the crossover is him eating pancakes. And what's right here is them eating pancakes. So this is the opening scene. And I'm guessing it's going to be an explanation as to what's going on here. And they might flash to Dr. Deegan in Arkham Asylum, or we might have to wait until the Arrow episode to fully find out that he was the one that rewrote reality. Have to wait and see. But now let's move into the Arrow episodes, and I guess it's funny that the first Arrow episode image is Stephen Amell in the Flash suit. Now, I think he looks decent. Obviously, he is in Grant's suit, so it is a lot tighter on him. For those that didn't know, there is actually padding in this suit. So the fact that Stephen is already buff enough, and then he has to wear a suit that has padding, it does make him look a bit bloated. Obviously, they did make a new cowl for him. That headpiece is specifically for Stephen. And the fact that they made him that headpiece also led to Grant getting a new headpiece, which we should see in the back half of the season. Maybe episode 8, but I wouldn't expect it till maybe episode 10 on The Flash for us to properly see him with that new headpiece. But yeah, I think he looks good in this photo for the most part, Stephen Amell. I think it's just a bit jarring seeing him in this suit, because who thought we would ever see that? Now we get our cool, like, first proper look at the Monitor. I think he looks sick, very comic accurate. I'm really, really intrigued to see how much of a role he has in this crossover. If it is very much like the Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline, like the lead up to that, he could just literally monitor over various activity that's going on. It could be like selecting certain people to, you know, keep an eye out on. So maybe they might join a team of his in the future. But what we see here is that he seems to be facing off against these 4 characters of Supergirl, the, I guess, Stephen Amell Flash, the 1990s Flash played by John Wesley Shipp, who of course played Jay Garrick as well as Henry Allen, and then of course the Barry Allen Green Arrow. So this scene, I'm intrigued to see what it is. Maybe the 90s Flash comes over because the Monitor was on his Earth as well. I'm just extremely interested to see how this 1990s Flash gets brought into it all, because this is the most surprising thing, I think, in the crossover, was seeing this dude show up. So I can't wait to see how he's involved. But I'm interested to see what the interaction with the Monitor here is, because the Monitor isn't meant to be a villain. So I'm interested to see how they portray him in this crossover for God knows how much time he's in it. Now we do get the shot of Kara, and it does appear that she is in Arkham Asylum. I'm just going to assume she is because of the lighting, because then the next image is our first proper look at Dr. John Deegan, otherwise known as Dr. Destiny from the comics. Now he's going to be the dude that's rewriting reality. In the comics, he has like a stone that sort of lets him rewrite reality and like sort of turn people's, well, not rewrite reality, but turn people's like dreams and nightmares into a reality. So I'm interested to see how he does it. Does he have a stone, or is it like literally some sort of like scientific thing? I'm intrigued. But he is meant to be he is like the main villain for the crossover. Now this crossover is meant to be smaller, so maybe like the whole thing is that he's just the one that causes this like this split. But there's also something bigger going on that they're gonna have to try and stop. Which, as we know, there is like a black suited Superman. You'd think he would have some role in it, maybe, of getting tied in with that. But there's not many details out there about Dr. Destiny and his role in the crossover. I think that's just something that we'll have to wait and find out when we actually watch it. Now, this is a pretty cool shot. We have Diggle. So Diggle's going to be tagging along, and this is inside Arkham Asylum with some of the inmates. So you'd have to think that Dr. Destiny starts a bit of a riot within the Arkham Asylum in order to just cause a distraction. So either he can get out, or so something of his can actually play out, one of the two. But having Diggle involved in there is pretty cool, and it's also going to be cool just having the Barry Allen Green Arrow interacting with this Diggle, because they're going to be partners. So yeah, I'm excited to see all of that, and just Arkham Asylum in general should be really cool. Of course, we get the cool look at the Barry Allen Green Arrow outside of Arkham Asylum. You can sort of see like the decrepitness, if you want to call it, of Arkham Asylum, just like how old it is and stuff like that. I think it looks really cool, might I say. But of course, Barry Allen Green Arrow is looking at Batwoman now. As I've said, I think Ruby Rose looks really, really, really good in the role of Batwoman. Obviously, we haven't had any of her talking, but I don't think her role is going to be too much talking. Like, she's just a physical presence there. I think she looks great in the suit. I'm excited to see how she's done in the crossover. It does seem that she will only be in the Arrow episode, which I guess you could say is a disappointment. But if she is a main feature of the Arrow episode, and she's like in most of the scenes, and she does really make a statement, that I don't think you can be like too disappointed by that. But yeah, from what it seems like, she is only in the Arrow episode, which, as I said, you can take that as a negative, but it could be a positive because they can just do a lot with her in this episode to flesh her out. And because this episode will most likely all take place in Gotham, you know, it makes sense that she would just be there instead of going outwards. But now let's move into the images for the final episode of this crossover, which will be on Supergirl. So obviously Supergirl and Flash have swapped places for the week. And the first one is another version of Cisco, who looks like a drug dealer or like a gangster or like a club owner that's involved with drugs and gangsters. One of the two. He's got his hair tied back, almost looking very Reverb, I guess. And yeah, just very different, not as Cisco with all that money on the table and stuff like that. But he's actually interacting with Barry Allen and Oliver Queen, but they're meant to be the Trigger twins from the comics. Now, it's hard to tell whether this is a disguise, and if it is a disguise, why is Cisco there? Because this is our normal Earth, like roles haven't been swapped. So is this after an event? Has something happened in maybe the Arrow episode where the Earth's been rewritten even more? So basically everyone's lives have been swapped. Is that what's happening here in the Supergirl episode? Or in this Supergirl episode, are we actually going to Earth 38 where there is maybe a different version of Cisco or something like that? It's hard to tell. Because we already saw early on in not only the Flash episode, but also in the Arrow, the Batwoman trailer, which will be a part of the Arrow episode for this crossover, that it is just the normal Cisco that we're used to. So I don't know what the explanation around this other Cisco is. Like, we do see James Olsen in the bar. Now, this is a different version. I think he's labeled as Guardian. I don't think he is going to be the Earth 38 Guardian. So who knows what Earth this is, or if it is just Earth 1 that's been rewritten even more, where everyone's just swapped around or put into like different, you know, ways of life, which would explain Cisco being involved in all of this stuff and James being a part of what looks like to be another gang. So I'm incredibly interested to see what happens in this Supergirl episode, because these photos are much different than what we're getting in the other two, like in regards to a storytelling perspective and as to like what really is going on. So it's a bit confusing in regards to all of that. But the final image is actually a really nice one, and it's Barry and Oliver having a beer. And this is actually very reminiscent of the Invasion crossover, I think it was, where I think the last shot of that crossover was these two having a beer. Or I think it was one of the last shots was them having a beer and just reminiscing. And I think that's a really good moment, especially because what these two will be going through in this crossover, where they're swapping around and things are just a bit stressful because they probably want to return to their normal lives. Like, I'm pretty sure, you know, Oliver Queen or Stephen Amell is going to enjoy having speed for a certain amount, but I'm pretty sure he'd just want to go back to his normal life. I don't think he'd, you know, I think he just wants to go back to his normal life as the Green Arrow, even though running around super fast, I'm sure would be really, really fun. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like in the video, show support. Let me know in the comments section down below what from these images gets you the most excited for the crossover, and what in general from this crossover stuff that you've heard before just gets you so excited for this crossover that is starting in, as I said, 2 weeks and 1 day. I can't wait. But yeah, just let me know all of your opinions in the comments section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.